Hi and welcome to this on this wild and windy January day to the man cave. It's by way of an explanation and an apology is this little video. It's just that I've not been in a fit state to do anything. The bike's not very good either. It's going into the dealers tomorrow to find out what the problem is. It's an annoying problem preventing it from running properly, but we'll sort it out. This little video is, there was no theme to it. You'll have known by now that there's always a theme to my little videos, but the only thing I will say is that one or two people over the last couple of years have asked me to go through the bike and just point out what little changes I've made to it. So it's a little bit of a scenic ride and a little bit of a look at the bike itself, just the Himalayan itself, so you know what I've done at it. But yes, it's just one of those things. It's always a difficult time. It's January, obviously, to catch the weather right and all sorts. But have a look through it and give us a thumbs up if you appreciate it. But I hope you understand what I'm getting at anyway. Cheers. Well, good morning, folks. Long time no see, or long time no hear from. This is the first ride for me of 2023, and I've just been out with the Himalayan lads. I have one or two problems, which is controlling things at the minute. I have a back problem that I really can't take any risks with, but so I've decided to drop off the main ride and make my way home. It's nice to come this way though. It's off-road. Just come down from Minninglow down towards New Haven. Same old. But I hope everybody's had a nice Christmas, and that 2023 is going to bring good times. Now you can see we've been green laning and we're a bit mucked up, but one or two people have asked me about what changes have I made to this Himalayan. They're a great little bike, but because they're so cheap and so cheap to buy, it means that you can afford to make a few changes if you want to, and most of us have done. I suppose starting from the front, because I do a little bit of green laning on rough stuff. I've put some spacers, lifting the front mudguard by 10mm, so that's no chance of getting any stones stuck under there. I've played around with all sorts of different screens. I've got a tall one I've tried that people have noticed. I've got a standard one, but this one, I don't know, it works in its own little way. Yes, I can still get the wind in, but it's not blustery, you know. It's fairly constant. Hangars, these make common sense. These do make sense, particularly if you're going off-roading, and because we do have a little lie down occasionally, and it just protects the levers. Bring me to another point. These levers are lovely little levers. I thought these look really nice. So yes, I put them on, and they're flexible, adjustable, and basically it hopefully avoids any snapped levers when I'm riding off-road. Being a 6'3", the standard setting for the mirrors, you tend to get your elbows in the mirrors all the time, so I've got these two extensions which takes them out about 30mm. each side a bit further out, so that makes sense. Lomo side bags, these are great. These really are great for I think about 40 quid a pair. They're not always in stock, but they're perfectly waterproof, and they carry all sorts of stuff in there. Spare tubes, all sorts of stuff. 1 litre of petrol in there, just a spare litre just in case. Little bits of tools and what have you. Yeah, these hand guards, they got an aluminium bar running through them, so they're more protective than the plastic ones that I first had on. This time of year, heated grips is a godsend. Oxford grips these are, and they're absolute godsend. Another godsend with being off-road are these Givy 3-point attachment engine bars. Protect the engine nicely. One of the first things that people do with these Himalayans is put another silencer. The Lextech end can here, this reduces the weight dramatically, and it just sounds just right. I've also put a couple of these tool tubes. I got these off eBay, very cheap, about 12 or 13 quid each. I got one that's got my chain lube in it, and this one on this side, you can see just how mucked up the bike is. It's got my toolkit in it, and a couple of sets of latex gloves. I've put the standard Royal Enfield pannier rails on, because what I carry when I'm away, when I go to Spain or Scotland or wherever I go, I've got a choice. I've got Lomo throw over panniers, which are great, again perfectly waterproof, and I've also got some aluminium panniers, not the standard Royal Enfield aluminium panniers, but big square ones, and it depends what sort of thing I'm doing. Don't look at that, because that guard there that's all my own work, and it's not very good, but it does protect the master cylinder for the back brake. The backlight. Now there's a current trend to have all this plastic and the number plate to be down here, and again, with doing a bit of off-roading, I think it's in the way down there, and I think it looks better. So I bought this multi-adjustable bracket. It actually fastens to the crash bars, so I probably couldn't use it if I hadn't got the crash bars on. And it lifts the number plate up. It's still legal. It's still facing the right direction, and it's the right angle and everything. But I think it just looks a bit better. And you might have noticed, I know I said the levers there's little chance of getting broken now, but the original levers I've taped. They're little straps that wrap around. I've got my levers, so they're there just in case. Tyres, I've got rid of I wore the original Pirellis out very quickly, 3,000 miles, but I'm that sort of rider. And then I put some Mituses on, E07 Mituses, which were great, to be honest, but then these Analyst Capras, they were cheap, so I thought I'd give them a try. Tyres is one of those things that wear out. Consumables, I suppose you call them, really, so it's worth trying, and they've turned out to be okay, of these Analyst Capras. So that's more or less the changes I've made. Oh, and my lovely Mountains Are Calling sticker on the tank. Being a climber, or an ex-climber and mountaineer, that's important to me. So that's basically what I've done. I've taken the rubber inserts off the footrests partly for off-roading. Gives me more grip on with my boots, but also it gives me a slightly better, more comfortable angle for my knees and hips. Oh, and also the seat. big talking point amongst Himalayan owners is the seat. What I've done here is SAS Auto Trim. Steve is based in Flint in North Wales. I got these back within 4 days of sending them, posting them to him, and it's put me another 40mm of thickness, and that's lifted me 40mm, because I was finding myself being sliding down the seat into the tank. So, and my knees weren't fitting in the little bit of relief in the tank there. So it's worked for me anyway. And in there, a little bit of magic inside there. That's the tech replacement camshaft. Gives it a little more pep. So let's yes, it's not running so well. There's something I've got to get sorted out, to be honest. It's one of the reasons I've dropped off the little trip with the Himalayan lads. It's not been so good. So it's a little bit lumpy at lower revs, but it's something I've got to get sorted out. Yeah, so the old girl's not running perfectly at the minute. As I say, it's one of the reasons I've dropped off the ride, so I can get back home and trying to find out what's causing the problem. But it's a nice run back anyway. Back down through Parsley Hay, where we just set off from, and down into and through Hartington. Obviously in amongst the limestone, lovely rock architecture with in the limestone at the White Peak as such. Now, rather than take the shortcut, which is straight on here, we'll bend round here to the left and take a little run down what's known as Longdale. Now, just by way of an explanation, one of the reasons for it being so long since my last video, and it's going to be a reason for the long gaps in between forthcoming videos, is I do have this problem with my back. About 2.5 years ago, I had an operation on my spine, my lower spine, where a little bit of metal work was put in due to the absence of a disc that's just worn away and disappeared in the last 30 odd years. But I knew it wasn't right. I was still getting quite a bit of discomfort, and eventually they called me back in for x-rays and scans and what have you, and as I say, I knew it wasn't right, and the x-rays and scans showed up. Now, what I will say is that for quite a few years people have been telling me I've got a screw loose. Well, I can state categorically that yes, I do have a screw loose now, because one of the screws that they put in my spine, in the framework, has come loose, and that is causing me problems. It's causing me quite a lot of discomfort, and it's become worse over the past month or so. So until I get it sorted, I think I'm going to have to take it easy. So it'll be I'll try and get out occasionally, just to keep my hand in and to stay in touch with you people, because I do value those of you that subscribe and watch. I value you people greatly, to be honest. Now this is Hartington we're going into. It's a very pretty little village, very popular with tourists during the season. Being built almost on the River Dove. And this little bridge here, that is the River Dove. It's a very junior River Dove, as I've said before, but crossing the bridge brings us back into my county, back into Staffordshire. So yes, regarding my little back problem, I spoke to the hospital last week. I've been badgering them as much as I possibly can because something's got to be done, and she's told me that I'm number 5 on the list, but for the moment they can't do any procedures that involve an overnight stay because the ward is actually closed. I think it's manpower that's the problem. We know the NHS is in a bit of a mess, and I appreciate that, but at the end of the day I've really got to get myself sorted out. But she's very apologetic and very sympathetic as well. But she says it's the ward is open in mid-February, and that I am number 5 on the list. So I'm hoping that in the space of a month or so I will be in there, and with repairs having been made. So we'll see how it goes. So that's Hume End. This is this was one of the terminus for the Manifold Valley Light Railway that used to run from here down to Waterhouses, down on the Leek to Ashbourne Road.